Welcome in, y'all. NFL Week 4. Who needs to win this week? Some of these are must wins. Some of these are need to wins. There's a difference. We'll specify that as we go on. We're going to start with the Texans here. 13% chance to make the playoffs, 4% chance to win the division. Usually I don't include teams this low of odds, but I felt like I had to include them because they're 0-3. But I think this roster is still solid. It's not elite. It's not great, but it's very good. They've lost to some good teams. Rams and Bucks are very good. Jags, they're solid. So Texans definitely still have a chance to bounce back. I think their odds are a little higher than this, but right now I have the Colts winning the division. But if the Texans want any semblance of a chance, you cannot lose at home to the 0-3 Titans. If they lose that game, I will officially write the Texans off and they will be no more. But if they can win this and win it looking good, I think they could get back on track. Our next game is the Chiefs, currently sitting at a 63% chance to make the playoffs with a 16% chance at the division, which is crazy for a team that has won the division so many years in a row. So this Chiefs team, they're 1-2, underdogs at home. They could fall to 1-3 versus the Ravens. The Ravens are actually not on this because I think the way the Ravens schedule is structured, the way their division's playing, I think the Ravens have more leeway, and I think a loss for the Ravens wouldn't hurt near as bad as it would the Chiefs in this one. The Chiefs need to win this. I would classify this on the need to win. Must is usually like, we'll have more of those later in the season. That's like, if you lose this, I might write you off. This is definitely a need to win, but it's a big need to win. You're at home. You can't start 0-2 at home. I don't care who you're playing. If you're the Chiefs and you have Super Bowl aspirations, you got to start winning games like this. I picked against them just because I don't trust the Chiefs right now. They haven't looked great. Even in their one win, they didn't look great. So we'll see. But our next game here, it's the Patriots. Currently have a 30% chance to make the playoffs, 5% chance to win that division. Probably won't happen. They're chasing the Bills. This is just, last week was brutal, right? They had a chance to go 2-1 and get a nice tie-breaking win over the Steelers, who they might be competing with for a wild card spot, but they fumble the ball 4 times, throw a pick, and they lose the game by a score. They need to play cleaner football, and this is a game at home against Carolina you have to take care of. Carolina looked very good last week in a shellacking of the Falcons, but it doesn't matter. Carolina is still a below average team. They're coming into your house. You have playoff aspirations, or a lot of Patriots fans said so coming into the season. And this is a game you have to win, and you have to look good winning it too. They're favored by 5.5. I'd like to see them cover. I'm not sure if they're gonna, but I think they need to. That's definitely a need to win, though, not a must. Washington here, another need to win, and this is a tricky one. I tried to find at least 6 here, so a couple of these aren't quite as dire, but this is a spot. Washington sits at 55% chance to make the playoffs, 28% chance to win the division. Pretty solid odds, especially on that division portion, but these are the games you can't be losing. The NFC has some good teams they're definitely going to sneak up with some better than expected records, and if you're dropping games on the road to a team that it's a solid team, but a team you should be if you're Washington, you're going to have trouble making the playoffs if you make a habit out of that throughout the season. So these are the type of games they need to win. Losing this, no, this guy's not falling. It's not that bad. They're barely favored. They'll be all right. But this is one of those, I think, that they need to win this. They need to go in there and take care of business. Now, on the flip side, we had this last week too with the Patriots and the Steelers game. I have the Falcons also, both participants in that game on this, and the Falcons are more dire. 18% chance to make the playoffs, 9% chance to win the division. This is borderline must win. I don't know if we're quite there, but it's getting close. You drop to 1-3 with 2 home losses, and I don't like your odds, especially with the Bucks playing pretty well. So they need to win versus Washington. So one of these 2 teams is going to fail at this mission I'm giving them here. And it's just a very important game for both ways, especially those are 2 teams that, unless they overtake their very good division leaders, they could be battling with each other for a playoff spot. So we'll see. if Atlanta won that game, via tiebreaker from beating Washington, they would actually jump Washington currently in the standings. So I feel like the gap kind of feels big between them, but it's crazy. Just 1 or 2 games can flip things very quickly. So Washington needs to be careful, and Atlanta needs to capitalize on their chance. And then our last one here, this one is definitely only in the need to win. It is nowhere near must. I think the Rams are pretty safe playoff-wise, 61% to make the playoffs, 28% to win the division. But that was such a brutal loss last week. I think that it was an amazing performance, squandered by some blocked field goals, and they need to come home and take care of business against the Colts. Colts are 3-0. They're not a team that it's easily said to take care of business against, but if the Rams have, Super Bowl aspirations, they looked so good against the Eagles, they can't then follow that up, come home and lose to the Colts, and then drop to 2-2. And they could be 2 games back of the division, which would be very difficult to climb out of. Not very, but you never want to get to 2 games back, because then you're really having to make up ground no matter how early in the season you are. So they need to go home and they need to take care of business against the Colts. I think they will, but that's one there. Again, like I said, I was trying to find 6 games this week. This last one is definitely the least dire by far. But I think those are the games where teams kind of have something they need to win this week. So let me know what y'all think. Are there any I missed? I think there's definitely some out there that you might think of, but a lot of them are teams that I need to see more from them to consider them for the playoffs. Like Bears-Raiders. It's an important game for both of them if either of them want to make the playoffs, but I just don't have either of them chalked in as a playoff contender quite yet. So it feels like they can't quite make this list, Minnesota-Pittsburgh, great game, but they could both afford a loss there, so that doesn't really count. So we'll see. I think the further we go in the season, the more games we're going to have in this category. So let me know what y'all think, and looking forward to a great Sunday of football.